The top news posts of November 8.
Saturday, November 8, at 3:25 a.m. First thing, judge orders Trump administration to stop needless suffering and fully fund food stamps. The Guardian. We're tracking developments on food assistance funding. A federal judge recently ordered the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits to prevent needless suffering. However, the Supreme Court has now temporarily paused that order, acting on a request from the White House. Interestingly, despite the Supreme Court's action, the Trump administration has already started funding full SNAP benefits for November.
Saturday, November 8, at 2:49 a.m. Pfizer to buy Metsera for $10 billion, capping bidding war. Bloomberg.com. Pfizer is set to acquire obesity drug startup Metsera in a monumental $10 billion deal. This caps an intense bidding war, notably against competitor Novo Nordisk, for the promising biotech company.
Saturday, November 8, at 1:06 a.m. Palestinian militants hand over body of another Gaza hostage. Reuters. Breaking news from Gaza. Israeli authorities have confirmed the return and identification of hostage Lior Radaf's remains. This marks the fourth such transfer this week, with the body handed over by Palestinian militants amidst the ongoing conflict.
Saturday, November 8, at 1:05 a.m. UPS and FedEx grounding MD-11 planes following deadly Kentucky crash. NPR. Major cargo carriers UPS and FedEx have grounded their MD-11 fleets following a deadly plane crash in Kentucky. The incident involved a UPS MD-11, prompting the company to temporarily halt operations for a portion of its aircraft. Sadly, 3 workers from Grade A Auto Parts are among those still unaccounted for as search efforts continue at the crash site.
Saturday, November 8, at 12:32 a.m. Federal judge permanently blocks Trump from deploying National Guard to Portland. Oregon Public Broadcasting OPB. A federal judge has permanently blocked the Trump administration from deploying the National Guard to Portland. The ruling declares the administration overstepped its authority, finding previous deployments unconstitutional. The decision is being hailed as a huge victory for the city. Friday, November 7, at 11:57 p.m. What's at stake in Iraq's parliamentary election? ABC News.com. Tonight, a pivotal parliamentary election is underway in Iraq, carrying immense stakes for the nation's future. A new generation of young Iraqis is stepping up, challenging sectarian rule and pushing for sweeping reforms. Simultaneously, leaders aim for the improbable prize of true independence, breaking free from the influence of both the US and Iran. While the vote could usher in stability, concerns remain it may also solidify the control of powerful militias. The big question: can Iraq truly make itself great again? Friday, November 7, at 11:23 p.m. In Israel, Mamdani's win in New York stirs alarm over shifting as attitudes. App News. Zohran Mamdani is the new mayor of New York City for 2025, a win prompting immediate fallout. In Israel, his victory raises alarm over shifting U.S. attitudes, while a supermarket billionaire threatens job cuts and a move to Florida. Amid reports of New Yorkers considering exits, a video shows a Palestinian boy celebrating Mamdani, calling him Zohran Mamdani of Gaza.
Friday, November 7, at 11:16 p.m. Trump gives Hungary 1-year exemption from Russian energy sanctions. BBC. Former President Donald Trump and Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban are deepening their Golden Age alliance. Trump has granted Hungary a 1-year exemption from Russian energy sanctions, praising its border policies against a flooding of migrants in Europe. While their meeting offers a chance to unblock Ukraine's EU accession, critics warn this close bond may come at Ukraine's expense.
Friday, November 7, at 10:19 p.m. Indiana woman who was at wrong home address to clean fatally shot by resident. The Guardian. Good evening. Tragedy in Indiana as a house cleaner was fatally shot after mistakenly arriving at the wrong home. The incident occurred on the front porch of an Indianapolis suburban residence. Police confirm the woman's death, though authorities remain tight-lipped on the shooter as the investigation is ongoing. We'll continue to follow this developing story. Friday, November 7, at 10:02 p.m. ICC warrant out vs Bato de la Rosa Rapala. Good evening. Reports are surfacing that the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Philippine Senator Bato de la Rosa, a key ally of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The warrant is linked to the country's controversial and deadly war on drugs. The Philippine Department of Justice is now working to verify this alleged ICC issuance, while Senator Soto has commented on the protocol for arresting a senator, particularly within the Senate premises.
Friday, November 7, at 8:58 p.m. Grand jury subpoenas former CIA chief Brennan and two ex-FBI officials linked to Trump-Russia probe, source says CBS News. Breaking news coming in: federal authorities are moving to subpoena key figures involved in the 2016 Trump-Russia investigation. Sources confirm former CIA Director John Brennan, alongside ex-FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, are among those named. This action is part of an ongoing federal probe into the origins and conduct of the investigation into Russian election interference. Friday, November 7, at 7 p.m. Democrats scale back shutdown demands but GOP digs in the New York Times. The government shutdown, now the longest in U.S. history, continues. Senate Republicans quickly rejected the latest Democratic proposal to reopen agencies, even with Democrats scaling back demands. One GOP leader remarked the wheels came off the effort. As Democrats' distrust of President Trump remains a key hurdle, Republicans are now huddling to plot their next move.
Friday, November 7, at 4:56 p.m. Flights cancelled at 40 U.S. airports follow live updates as FAA cuts to air traffic take effect amid government shutdown. Yahoo! Good evening. Travelers across the U.S. are facing significant disruptions this weekend. Amid the ongoing government shutdown, the FAA has implemented cuts to air traffic, leading to widespread flight cancellations and delays. Over 700 U.S. flights have already been cancelled, impacting at least 40 airports nationwide. We'll bring you live updates on what travelers need to know as these reductions take effect.
Friday, November 7, at 1:57 p.m. James Watson Cody's cover of DNA's double helix dead at 97. Reuters. James Watson, the Nobel-winning co-discoverer of DNA's iconic double helix structure, has died at 97. His groundbreaking work revolutionized our understanding of life.
Friday, November 7, at 11:54 a.m. Pakistan-Afghanistan tensions. Islamabad says truce talks with Kabul collapse. Fate of ceasefire unclear. Times of India. Peace talks between Pakistan and Afghanistan have officially collapsed, with Islamabad confirming the failure of truce discussions with Kabul. The fate of any ceasefire now hangs in the balance. Afghanistan's Taliban government is blaming Pakistan for the breakdown, calling their actions irresponsible. This comes amid escalating border tensions, including reports of a recent clash that left 4 civilians dead.